Hey everyone, welcome to episode 12 of Tuesday Tips. This week is going to be a 6x6 Pacific tip. Um, Besides 6x6 being the greatest event of all time and one that you should all main, this is still a useful trick I find on a lot of my 6x6 solves. So today's going to be about canceling your OLL and edge parities. So if you've done 6x6 at all, you know that there's three possible parities. You can get edge parrying, which is shown here, and the standard OLL and PLL parities you see in 4x4. So there are kind of two different ways of approaching these parities. So the first way is your standard way. You see you're done with all your edges except your last edge and you have parity. So what we're going to do here is we're going to solve parity, and then we're going to go into our 3x3 stage. So we're on our 3x3 stage, and unfortunately we ended up with OLL parity again. So we're going to have to do our second parity algorithm here. And then we can continue along with our solve and finish, which got whatever, PLL parity. However, in this case, we see we have our edge pairing parity, and instead of solving it immediately, we can wait. Luckily, since I'm a white-only solver, unfortunately, since I'm a white-only solver, the key here is that the edge that you're using, the parity has to be on an edge that it's going to be in your last layer. If you're color neutral, this isn't an issue, as you can choose. In this case, you could choose orange or white to start your cross, but for me, I need yellow as I'm pathetic and can only do white as my starting cross color. So here, we're going to finish our solve. And look, if we'd done our original edge parity alg, these two pieces would be flipped up, and now we'd have OLL parity. However, since we waited until we were at our last layer, and we can see that actually we want to flip these two middle pieces down instead of these two outer pieces up, we can do our inner slice parity, therefore eliminating the OLL parity. As you may have noticed in last week's video, when you get to the last two edges on 6x6, a lot of the time you can solve them with one alg. So say you get to a case like this, you can just do the 5x5 alg, which is doing the alg for this last two edge case is very quick, and doing the alg that would leave a parity is also fairly quick, but hardly any faster than just doing the pure alg. In a lot of these cases, in this case particular, if I had, say I had this case right here, I could force the edge parity on yellow and then save it and maybe cancel OLL parity at the end. However, I usually find that it's worth the 50-50 risk just to do the very quick alg and then have the risk of doing an extra parity at the end. I'm not quite sure on the math on whether or not this is actually the ideal way of doing it, but it kind of is the way I've approached it. Again, this trick is a lot better if you are color neutral, as getting a pure parity for me has to be on yellow for me to be able to save it, but if you're color neutral, you can do it on any side or any color. Additionally, say I got pure parity on orange and green, it wouldn't actually be that big of an issue. I could still do this, as I could just save my orange and green F2L edge for last. And here I noticed that, actually, I'm so bad at recognizing I'm very bad at recognizing this because I've never practiced it before. But after a little bit, I could realize that doing a regular parity with the outers would give me no OLL parity, while doing an inner slice parity would give me OLL parity. That way you can wait until you get to this case right here where you have your last F2L edge to do parity. But really, the choice is yours.